We're going to set up the LINKSYS E2500 dual band Wi-Fi router. It should be a pretty simple process. This is what the router looks like. So basically, when you take it out of the box, you're going to want to plug in the power, and then once the power is all good, this green light will be on, and it'll be a solid color, just like it is right here. And then if you're going to want to get internet access from this router, you're going to need to, there's this black cable that comes with it, and you're going to want to plug it right into this yellow port that says internet. So that the other end of this cable is going to go to your modem or to someone else's router that provides internet access to you. So this router itself, it doesn't have, the internet is not like contained inside the router. The router has to get the internet from somewhere. You have to purchase, you have to subscribe to an internet service provider, and then they'll give you a modem, or you can buy your own modem, but you have to have a subscription to an internet service. So for example, some of the popular ones in the US are Cox Communications, there's Xfinity, there's Frontier, there's Charter, there's Spectrum, there's all kinds of them, but you have to find out. I can't just give you one until you go there, because wherever you live, that kind of determines what internet service providers are in your area. So you'll need to, if you don't have a modem or you don't have no idea what I'm talking about, you're going to need to get a hold of one of those companies and subscribe to internet service. So that's where this cable goes to. The other end goes into your modem. So now let's go ahead, and the next step you want to do is you want to connect to the Wi-Fi of this router. So you're going to want to go on your phone or computer or whatever that has Wi-Fi. Alternatively, you can take a Cat5 cable and plug it into one of these ports and plug the other end into your laptop or something. But for this video, we're going to use Wi-Fi. So you're going to make sure you want to connect to Wi-Fi, or else the rest of the steps that I show you won't work. So let's go ahead, and I'm going to go to my Chromebook, and we're going to set up this router real quick. All right, the first thing we're going to want to do after we plug in all the cables to the router is connect to the router's Wi-Fi. So I'm on my Chromebook right now, but you can do this from any device that's Wi-Fi compatible. You can do this from your phone or whatever. You just have to know how to connect to Wi-Fi. So on here, I just go down to the Wi-Fi networks, and the network is going to be called LINKSYS, and then there's going to be 5, or it might be different, but there's a bunch of numbers after it. So that's the network you're looking for. That's your new Wi-Fi network that's provided by your router that you just plugged in. So I'm going to go ahead and click on that one. So now we're connected. So that's all you have to do to connect to the router's Wi-Fi. Now you're going to want to connect to the router's administrative interface. So what you're going to have to do is open your browser. I'm going to use Chrome, and you're going to go up and go to 192.168.1.1. So remember, you have to be connected to Wi-Fi of your new router for this to work. If you're not connected to this LINKSYS E2500 Wi-Fi that it provides, this will not work for you. So you must be connected to Wi-Fi. It's absolutely important. You can't be using your phone's data connection. That's different. You must be on Wi-Fi. Or you have to have your laptop plugged into the router and be using that. So you can't be using your phone's data. That's very important on this step. So go to 192.168.1.1 and go ahead and go to that. And it pops up this page. And let's see, it's asking me, click here to install LINKSYS Connect. I don't want to do that because I'm not on the internet right now. Continue with an open and unsecured network. Go ahead. We're going to click that link. I understand my network is currently open and not secure. I would like to manually configure my router's security settings. That's what we're going to do. And go to continue. So this automatically popped up with some information that's actually wrong. So the default username is just going to be blank, and the password is going to be admin, all lowercase. So you can either hit enter or log in. It's going to give you this warning message. Using this advanced utility to change your router settings could disable your network. Okay, don't worry about any of this. I'm here to help you. I'm just going to select Don't Show Me This Again and hit OK. All right. So that's how you log into your router's administrative interface. If everything is good for you, if you're connected into, if your router's plugged into your modem and your modem's online, technically you should be able to get on the internet. You should be able to go open up a new tab, and you should be able to go to google.com or something. You should be able to go to something. You should be able to get online. But I'm going to show you something else first. If you want to change your Wi-Fi settings, you go over here to wireless. And this is your Wi-Fi settings right here. You got your two networks. And this is where you can change it. Wi-Fi protected setup, I recommend you disable that. I have another video if you want to learn why to disable it. But I recommend you disable WPS. And then I'm going to go to manual. And this is where you change your network names. So you have your 5 gigahertz and your 2.4 gigahertz. So you can change this to whatever you want. Remember when we joined the Wi-Fi? This is where you change the name of it to wherever you want. So if you want to make it like Eric's Awesome Wi-Fi or whatever you want to name it. Maybe you want to name it Not Today Hacker or whatever you want to name it. This is where you change the names for that. Now, if you want to go over to if you want to change those, you want to hit Save Settings. I'm just going to go to Cancel. I'm not going to save those settings. You can go over to Wireless Security, and then this is where you set your password for your Wi-Fi. So you can go to any one of these. I recommend you choose WPA2 Personal, and this is your password for your Wi-Fi. So you can type in whatever you want, and that'll be your Wi-Fi password. Because remember, when we joined it in the beginning, there was no Wi-Fi password. We just selected it, and it let us connect. So if you want a Wi-Fi password, this is where you set it. You would set it here. You can set it for both, for the 5 and the 2.4 gigahertz networks. And then you can save it. So now, like I said, you should be able to get on the internet. But if not, if you had another router that was working, that was on the internet, and now all you're doing is replacing that router with this LINKSYS E2500, and this is not online for you for some reason, then I'm going to show you a trick. It's called either MAC address spoofing or MAC address cloning. So from this page, you're going to go to MAC address clone. So you can see it's by default it's disabled. So you're going to want to enable this, and then the MAC address that was on your old router is what you're going to want to enter in here. So I'll go ahead and show you that here. So let's pretend this is your old router. You want to get the MAC address from this router. So usually it'll be on the back or the bottom, depending on the orientation of your router. Usually it's on the back, and it'll be on a sticker back here. So for this one, you'll see it says MAC. That's your MAC address. So you take all those digits right there, and that's where you want to type into the router's, the MAC address clone screen that I just showed you. Now we'll go back there to the clone screen. This right here is where you're going to want to type in all those characters. You're going to want to start here. You type 2 digits into each box. It'll tell you it's out of the range. You got to do 1 box at a time. So you start there. The first 2 digits you type there, and so on. And then you save the settings. And then once you do that, it won't work for everyone, but it will work for some people. If you had a router that was previously working and all you're doing is switching your router, and then you're having trouble getting online, then this trick may help you. If not, it might be something else. This is by no means required. If this MAC cloning doesn't work for you, or if you can't get your old router's MAC address for whatever reason, it's not the end of the world. If this MAC address cloning is not working for you, or you don't know what to type in here, it doesn't matter. All you have to do is call your ISP and then have them tell them you got a new router, and they'll just reset it for you. They might ask you what your MAC address is of your new router so they can type it in, but they might just reset something, and then they'll be able to get you online. So this MAC address cloning, if it doesn't work, if it's confusing you, whatever, just call up your ISP and they'll fix it for you. This MAC address clone, all it's really doing is saving a phone call to your internet service provider. If you don't do this MAC address cloning, you might just have to call them. It's really, I would even say, improper to do MAC address cloning. It's just a way to save you from making a phone call if you don't want to do that. But basically, that's all you really have to do to get your router online. And so I hope this video helped you. Thanks for watching.